And we say good afternoon to you from Defiance High School, where it is a volleyball Saturday. Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you. Welcome to our Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. And Scoop, this is two teams that are separated by 10 miles down the road, but when they get together for volleyball, it's always an exciting matchup.
It really is. And if you look at the last 3 years, the visiting team has won all three of those matches. In fact, last year at the hangar, Ayersville came out, won the first two sets before Defiance stormed back, took the last three. And if you remember 2 years ago here at the Dog Pound, Defiance won the first two sets, and then Ayersville came back to take a tough two-set thrilling five-setter. So, again, these two teams, just leave it all out there. You love to see these early matchups before you get into the meat and bones of your conference schedules.
Well, you know, they don't play in the same conference, so you don't see them all the time, all that often, but you get these non-league matchups. There's a lot of kids that have played against each other in, you know, the rec volleyball, rec softball, you know, different things, basketball. They're no strangers to each other when it comes to hitting the court.
No, you're exactly right. You know, a lot of these kids are multi-sport athletes, so they've met on the hardwood as well. But the thing about these backyard rivalries, especially I think for a team like Ayersville, you always want to try to knock off your big sister, so to speak. You know, sure. Defiance certainly a much bigger school, but is not really taken away from the rivalry because, again, this could go down the wire, as we've seen many times between these two rivals.
We're going to take a quick time out on our Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. When we come back, we're going to break down the two teams, and we'll get you set this afternoon for it's still sunny out today. So we'll get you set for afternoon volleyball. Defiance and Ayersville right here on DCTV Sports.
Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobayersville.com.
Welcome back to Defiance High School, the Dog Pound, as we've got a matchup of county rivalry rivals here in high school volleyball. Josh Bush, Scoop Miller along with you this afternoon. Our Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show rolls on. And, Scoop, let's start with the home team here, the Defiance Bulldogs. For this team, a lot of youth, including their head coach. They've got a new skipper leading the way, and Alexis Kiesling. No stranger to the program, though. She's been on board as an assistant since 2022.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's going to help, I think, with the transition. But you're right. There's so many new faces this year. They really were hit hard from graduation a year ago. A team last year I thought really played some great matches. You know, they were 15-9, finished a 6-3 in the WL for third place. So a very successful season last year, but now trying to find that blend, getting the veterans and the youth kind of all on the same page. Could take some time. But interesting to see how they'll perform here on a Saturday matinee.
Well, you know, you talked about some of those faces that they lost from last year. They graduated a class that included Carly Hoffman, Ella Westrick, Piper Hampton, Emma Tackett, just to name a few. And there are some big shoes to fill with some youth. And, you know, again, you're going to see those struggles, but, you know, the numbers are really, really good. I told you yesterday I drove the bus to Liberty Benton on Tuesday for their matchup, and I think there were 35 kids on the bus, and that's a really good start when you look at trying to bring in some of those youth athletic kids. The numbers are strong for Alexis Kiesling.
Well, you're right, and that's what's going to take, because you love that in-house competition where you have to go out there and prove yourself each and every day. That's how you're going to get better as an individual. That's how you're going to help your team. And again, the fact that you do have these new faces, but don't let that fool you, because there's some talent there with this youthful squad. So there's no question about it. I think their 1-4 record is very misleading. I think Ayersville understands that better than anyone else.
Bella Rollison has been kind of leading the way for this group, and boy, we've seen sparks out of her the last couple of seasons, and now really getting a full-time role as one of their hitters. And I'll tell you what, she has really, really done a nice job taking that lead spot.
You're right, and it's really been fun to watch her progression since her freshman year here at Defiance. She's really matured into a very solid volleyball player. Last year she was third team all WBL, and this year she's going to be that go-to person. She already leads the team with 105 kills coming in has a 36% kill percentage, second in the team in blocks, second in the team in digs. So she's an all-around player. They need her experience out there on the floor.
Well, they've gone kind of wire to wire for some of their early matches. They picked up that win in Liberty Benton, I believe, on Tuesday, and then they fell to Wapakoneta on Thursday, but a 5-set loss to Wapakoneta. Again, out of a youthful team like this, they're getting some good experience early in the season. They
really are. You know, they're coming off a tough loss at Wapakoneta, as you mentioned. I think they were up 2-1 in that before dropping the final 2 sets to the Redskins. But, again, that's one of those things that's kind of a learning experience. And the great thing about volleyball, Josh, unlike football, you don't have to wait a whole week to come back. They want to kind of right the ship, you know, after getting bit there the other night in Wapakoneta. So they got a chance to get some momentum back on their side of the floor.
We'll take another time out here on our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. When we come back, we'll talk about the opponents today, the Ayersville Pilots. All that to come next on our pregame show here on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Welcome back to our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, Saturday afternoon volleyball, as Defiance welcoming in Ayersville this afternoon, as we are getting set. We're about 7.5 minutes away from our first serve here this afternoon. But the Ayersville Pilots, Scoop, coming in 4-2 on the season for their second-year head coach, Taven Tyler. This is a team, I guess, makeup-wise, contrast from Defiance, as they've got some really strong senior leadership on this squad from Ayersville.
Well, they really do. They are really loaded in that senior class. These girls have not only got a lot of varsity experience, they've played together for so many years. I think that's going to be a big key for the Pilots tonight. But, Allison Eldridge, she's been really strong, especially behind the service line. You have Kendra Waldron, Brooklyn Michael, Lainey Sheets, Grace Flory, Kelsey Clark, Alyssa Coble, and Michaela Sierra. So those seniors have been that calming force for the Pilots, who got off to a terrific start this year, win their first 4 matches. But since that time, they've dropped 2 straight. So, again, they have a chance here to right the ship. They took a tough straight set loss at the hangar to Bluffton just 2 nights ago, so they're going to be anxious to get out here and try to get momentum back on their side of the floor.
Well, you mentioned it, you don't have to wait very long, and the flip side of that is you come off a loss like that at home to Bluffton. If you're Coach Tyler, you got to get these you got to get that mentality flipped a little bit, because you got to come right back to it 48 hours later.
Yeah, you're right. So you got little preparation, especially for a nice rivalry here at Defiance High School. But again, fortunately for Ayersville, that was not a GMC match. I think the Pilots have aspirations of finishing at top the GMC standings, something they haven't done for several years. So they're certainly going to be focused here this afternoon. And again, just trying to maybe start clicking here before they get into the Green Meadows Conference schedule.
Well, let's take one final time out on our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We'll come back. We'll get our national anthem. We'll talk some keys to this afternoon's match between these two teams, and we'll get that first serve coming your way in just a little bit here. Again, it's Defiance and Ayersville on a Saturday afternoon. Glad to have you along here on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you from the Dog Pound here at Defiance High School. It's Ayersville and Defiance on the volleyball court this afternoon, as this matchup again. This has been one of those that has, again, non-league, Scoop, but these two teams have, you mentioned it already, but they've battled year after year, and it's always exciting when these two teams tangle on the court.
It really is. As we mentioned earlier, both the last 2 times, these have come down to 5-set decisions, and each of those matches, the team that lost won the first 2 sets. So, again, you have to play the whole match here. should be excited from the get-go, and really hard to believe in this rivalry, but these teams have only met recently the last 3 years, but each of those 3 years, the visitors have come out on top.
Well, let's start with the visitors here as we get our keys to the game, courtesy of Northwest State Community College. Northwest State Community College, your key to a great career opportunities begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit them online at northweststate.edu. Scoop, let's talk a couple of keys that you see here this afternoon for this Ayersville Pilot squad.
Well, I think for the Pilots, it's going to start with controlling the back row. I think the Pilots really need to be solid passing the volleyball, allowing them to get into system. Once they do that, when they have all their options available, this is a very talented, experienced Pilot team, so controlling that back row could go a long ways toward an Ayersville victory. I think another key for Ayersville is going to be blocking. Coming in tonight, the Pilots are only averaging 1 block per set. Their defense does such a great job with court coverage. They're athletic, but the Pilots need to get some help from that front row. And that front row definitely has the ability to dominate with the athletes and experience they have. And I think the third key tonight for Ayersville, they need to play aggressive. This is an Ayersville team. We've mentioned it. They've got a lot of experience. They understand the importance of being aggressive. This has been a big key to their early success.
Let's flip it over to Defiance and first-year head coach Alexis Kiesling. This young squad, what does Defiance need to do here this afternoon?
Well, I think for the Bulldogs, volleyball always boils down to mistakes. So I think the key for them, they need to minimize those unforced errors. Volleyball matches, typically when you have rivalries like this, sometimes they're just decided by a few plays. So they got to really minimize those unforced errors. Ayersville's going to put enough pressure on you by yourself, so they need to be very consistent. I think another key this afternoon for Defiance, they got to get a quick start. The Bulldogs right now 0-3 when they've dropped the opening set. They have to find a way to get out of the gates early and establish some confidence early in this match. I think the third key tonight for Defiance is going to be aggressive serving. We talked about the importance of Ayersville getting in system. Well, I think the Bulldogs need to put a lot of pressure on that back row of the Pilots, be very aggressive, serving that ball, not allowing the Pilots to get them system. And if Defiance can execute in those areas, boy, they can pick up an impressive non-league win here this afternoon at the Dog Pound.
Keys to the game, courtesy of Northwest State Community College. Your key to great career opportunities begins with a great education at Northwest State. Make sure you visit them at northweststate.edu. Oh, we're competing with TV traffic this afternoon, Scoop. I know there's first day of college football. We started, we were talking about that a little bit, but hopefully we got some folks that are flipping back and forth between some volleyball and I think there's a team down in Columbus playing this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they're playing either. Has a quarterback named Manning maybe that's starting for them. But no, this is a fun time of year for all of us. School's underway here. You get the fall sports season going. We had a great football matchup last night from the reservation at Fairview where the Apaches took out a very good Delta Panther squad, 36-32. And we certainly expect a great matchup here for this Saturday matinee.
Well, again, we're getting you set for the opening serve here in just a few minutes as these two teams are finishing their lineups here or their warm-ups, excuse me. And we mentioned the youth of the coaching Scoop, and obviously you've spent your time as a coach over the years. Both of these young ladies, when you're young in your career like that, you want to try and find a way to build. And obviously Taven Tyler at Ayersville doing a nice job in her second year. Alexis Kiesling, if you were to maybe give some words of advice to a young coach, I kind of throw you on the spot here, but just starting out in this role, what is a little piece of advice from a longtime coach?
Well, John, I think that's a great question because I remember those days, even though maybe it's a long time ago where you're starting out, you want to establish your program, but it's about you want to teach the kids the game, but you also want those life skills involved. So go out there. I know these two have the passion. They're out there investing their time, these youth. So go out there. Yeah, you want to do all you can to win, but remember the big picture. There's a lot of life lessons to be had on the athletic courts. That's something I've learned through the years.
I think it's important to establish that culture when you're a young coach, and some of those expectations that are off the court, and I think that can go a long way when you're trying to establish what you want to do.
Well, that's the biggest hurdle. That mindset. Sometimes you just you need to dream big. I think you need to have those big goals, but that starts with building confidence, and that's that culture you talked about.
Yeah. Well, the teams are lining up on the court as we're getting set for the start of the afternoon. But first, we're going to get our national anthem, courtesy of the Defiance County Veterans Office. The Defiance County Veterans Office is proud to support local veterans and their families and connect them with the resources to them. We're getting the introduction of our officials this afternoon, and players are lined up on the court. Fans are standing, and we will get a playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Our national anthem, courtesy of the Defiance County Veterans Office. Again, the Defiance County Veterans Office, proud to support our local veterans and their families and connect them with the resources available to them. A big matchup here this afternoon for both of these teams as we're going to get our lineups here, Scoop. And any final thoughts before we get rolling here?
Well, again, I think it's always important. First impressions are awfully big, so I think you want to come out, maybe throw those first couple punches, settle in, get some confidence early. And we've seen these matches go down the wire, but again, first set always is huge. Defiance is yet to get a match win when they've dropped the opening sets. That's going to be a point of emphasis for Defiance here this afternoon.
We'll take one final time out on our Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Our pregame show this afternoon brought to you by Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. You can visit them online at drivebobestel.com. We're back with our opening serve after this on DCTV Sports.
Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestel.com.
Welcome back to Defiance High School as we are getting set for the start of this afternoon's match as the introduction of players happening here this afternoon, Scoop. And, I think you can see both of these teams, I think, are anxious to get this one underway when you've got that county foe right down the street coming your way.
Well, you're right. It's always extra exciting. You have that backyard county rivalry. You go toe-to-toe just one time a year. But you also have two teams coming off some tough losses just less than 48 hours ago. So they want to both kind of right the ship. And then you have the fact that you want to prepare for those conference matches that loom ahead for both these squads. So a lot on the line here, even though this is a non-league contest here this afternoon.
Well, and you're right. You mentioned getting into league play and things like that. It's kind of that season within the season. You want to use these opportunities, these non-league matchups to figure some things out that, again, you talked about dropping those earlier this week. But you look at that and you get in the film and you say, hey, we need to work on this or work on that. As much as you want to win this game, sometimes these non-league matchups are an opportunity to say, let's tweak this a little bit, tweak that, and really focus on some of those things that you need to get right when you get into those.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think you always want to schedule up because you want to. If you're going to get exposed, you want it to be early in the season where you've got time to work on things, correct things. Teach your kids. This is what we need to do if we want to get where we want to be. So I think both these teams will get tests here this afternoon, and this is one of those matches where I think it could go either way, but it's going to boil down to execution. So you got to come out and bring your A game, and you have to do it the entire match, as we've learned from watching these two compete the last 2 seasons, where the team that won the opening 2 sets has both times lost the match.
Let's get a check of our starters here this afternoon as we'll take a look first for Defiance. The starting 6 will be Bella Rollison, Chloe Bloomfield, Nora Vandemark, Chloe Seiler, Kira Cohn, and Gisela Barajas. And it looks like Kate Homeyer is going to check in as the libero for the Bulldogs. And flip it over for the other side for the Pilots. We've got Brianna Sabecki, Allison Eldridge, Brooklyn Michael, Lainey Sheets, Grace Flory, and now checking in the libero is going to be Michaela Sierra. And our starting lineups courtesy of Baker Schindler Company, and we are underway with our opening serve here, courtesy of Superior Credit Union. And the first point of the match will go to the Bulldogs of Defiance. Cohn back to serve and come the other way, and nice little tip over by Ayersville, and this one will fall. It kind of found that spot in the back, Scoop, not able to get it up there, and it fell into a spot where just no Bulldogs were around.
Yeah, that time they kind of got in scramble mode, got out of position, and credit the Pilots. See it come right back after dropping that opening point.
Eldridge with a strong serve. Defiance will return. They'll set to that far side. Lainey Sheets. And Defiance will pick up the point there.
That time the Pilots got a good look. They had a nice back set there to Sheets, and the southpaw was able to find the seam, but a little bit too much air underneath that. It sailed just long. Bulldogs retake the lead.
Ayersville able to keep the serve in, and looks like we got a little net action there as Kira Cohn trying to save that one and get it back out, but got a little too close to the net.
That's great defense that time by Ayersville. I thought Defiance had a monster serve there that put a lot of pressure in that back row, but they were able to handle it. And a nice job once again. We have our second tie, this time at 2.
We're potentially keeping our lead change streak from last night, Scoop.
I tell you what, I'm not sure we're going to be able to beat that streak last night. We had so many lead changes in that football shootout at the reservation.
Bella Rollison with a nice spot, defended well by Ayersville. Now Sheets, they'll set to the left side, and that will sail a little bit wide as Grace Flory was looking to drop that one in the back row, Scoop, but a little too much mustard on it.
Credit to Defiance that time because Flory had a great look in that opening kill attempt, but it was well handled in the back row there by the Bulldogs.
Rollison will serve, and Ayersville able to get it back across. Now they'll set for Cam Frederick, who drops it in the back row just in front of the libero, Michaela Sierra. That's a nice spot from Cam Frederick.
It really was. A great execution by Defiance. That time they got in system. They were able to get a good pass, great set. And you saw the result there. Good-looking kill. Biggest lead of this opening set belongs to Defiance.
Cam Frederick up again, and that will be blocked at the net. And it'll fall over, so Defiance will pick up another point here. 5-2 now, Bulldogs here in this first set, Scoop.
Great execution once again. They got in system there, and that time a double block set up by the Pilots, but off the block it goes out of bounds.
No, Ayersville will have to try and salvage this one. It's going to be short, and just a great serve there from Bella Rollison, and Ayersville not able to return that.
Yeah, tremendous job. We talked about that being one of the keys, putting a lot of pressure in that back row. Now 4 unanswered points here for Defiance, looking to get some separation early.
Cam Frederick going up for a nice block there for Defiance, but it'll fall on her side of the net, and Ayersville will get this one back here. Now 6-3.
Well, that's a tough break because I thought Cam Frederick did a great job of timing that block. She was all alone there, but just went off the side of her hand.
Set for Frederick again, and she just tried to tip that one over the net, and she's going to get just a bit into the net there, and Ayersville's going to climb right back into this one. Scoop now 6-4.
Well, that's what good teams do. You know, they allowed that 4-0 run there by Defiance, but they did not let them phase them. They come right back, a little run of their own, now trying to cut the deficit to 1.
Frederick will get one to the back row. Ayersville able to get it back. Frederick back up again, and this time she finds some court back in that corner, and another good spot for Cam Frederick, the junior, who is doing a nice job hitting from that left side.
Yeah, she really is, and credit Defiance. I think as a team, they're doing an excellent job of staying with it that time. They took advantage of the free ball. They're able to get in system. Good execution once again. Lead back up to 3 here for Defiance.
Barajas with the serve, and Ayersville trying to return and just having all kinds of trouble with the Defiance serves right now, and Bulldogs will tip it over. Ayersville keeps it alive, hit from that left side. That was Grace Flory, and a nice double block up there for Defiance, but not able to keep it on the other side of the net.
Yeah, I thought Defiance had to defend it well, but that time, credit Grace Flory, the senior, second team All-GMC a year ago. She just kind of hit it right through that block. A big point there for Ayersville as they get the lead down to 2 here for the Bulldogs.
Ava Sigler serving for the Pilots. Jada Alvarez trying to knock that one over for the Bulldogs. And Grace Flory does it again. She finds a spot on that other side and just found a little bit of room in the Defiance defense, Scoop, and she's able to drop it in.
Yeah, anytime you get the ball in the strike zone, Grace Flory, look out. That time a tough cut angle shot there that the Bulldogs had no chance defending. This serve's going to sail a little long. So Defiance maintains that advantage. The Bulldogs get the lead back to 2.
8-6 Defiance here in our opening set. Nora Vandermark back to serve for the Bulldogs. And that one will go into the net. And there's some of those mistakes that you talked about, Scoop. You want to try to eliminate, serving into the net. I mean, that's one of those that you'd like to avoid.
Yeah, you're right, because, again, you don't have a lot of room for error when you're playing the likes of Ayersville team that's got so much experience, so many different weapons out there. Now the Pilots looking to tie here.
8-7 Defiance is they'll set for that left side again. Rollison digs that one out, comes right back to her. Now they'll go right side, and this will be dropped in the back. No save by Ayersville. Frederick from the left side, and that one will go into the net. And we've got a tied match here, 8-8. And Frederick a little off the net on that one, Scoop, and just not able to get it over.
Yeah, that was a tough spot. Not really in our strike zone. Maybe tried to do a little bit too much there on that third hit. We have our third tie here of the opening set.
Flory with the serve for Ayersville. They'll set right side. And that one will go sail just a little bit as Cam Frederick was trying to go cross court and just not able to keep it inside the lines.
Yeah, it was the right idea. She had a tough cut angle shot that time, but maybe a foot wide. And Ayersville has their first lead here this opening set.
9-8 Pilots. That serve hits the net. It falls over. Defiance saves it. Now Seiler will drop it over. And a little too much palm on that one.
Well, credit Grace Flory. That was a tough serve that caught the tape. It did not allow Defiance to get in system. Now a nice little run here by the Pilots.
Up 2, 10-8. They'll go left side. Rollison just punch that one over. Back corner, and that one's going to stay in as Kelsey Clark, the senior, drops one in the back corner. And, well, just like that, Ayersville now an 11-8 lead here over Defiance.
Yeah, what a shot there by Clark. You could not have set that volleyball in a better spot right there in that back corner. And now 5 unanswered points here by Ayersville, enjoying a 3-point advantage here.
Another serve and not handled by Defiance as that came off of Kate Holmeyer's arms a little bit wonky there, Scoop. It'll go out, and Ayersville now a 4-point lead.
Yeah, right now, if you're Ayersville, keep the foot pedal to the metal, so to speak. You've got a good run going. Do not allow Defiance to get any kind of a mental edge here.
I think that one hit the
yes, it did.
flag on the corner there. So Seiler not able to keep that one in, and we're going to have our first timeout here. Defiance going to take it. We'll take it with them. It is a Service Master Restore timeout. We're back with more after this on DCTV Sports.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Welcome back to the Dog Pound. Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you on a Saturday afternoon. Last Saturday in August, Scoop, if you can believe that. But nice run here by the Pilots now with a 13-8 lead. And Defiance started so strong in this first set here, and they've kind of fallen flat here on this run with Ayersville.
You're right. Defiance got off to a great start, up 6-2, up 7-4. They were even up 8-6, but a quick 7-0 run here by Ayersville. But again, you have to credit the serving of Grace Flory right now. She's really done a nice job of not allowing Defiance to get in system. She's been serving deep. It's been a very solid floater. It's got good velo on it. It's got a lot of movement. It's been tough to handle. I think that was a good timeout by the Bulldogs to try to just maybe ice her just a little bit.
We'll go right side with Frederick. She's going to tip that one over. Now Ayersville returns, blocked up front. Nice job by the Bulldogs. They'll try to keep this one alive, and they do, as Homeyer was able to punch it back over. And then we get a big kill in the middle there from Brianna Sebecki, the sophomore. That was a good-looking shot from that young lady.
It really was. She's athletic. She's quick off her feet there. And that time, a nice quick short set there that was well executed by the Pilots, and that lead now swells to 6.
Grace Flory will serve again for Defiance. It'll be Jada Alvarez, I think, had the right idea there, but defended just absolutely perfection there from the Ayersville Pilots.
So right now the Pilots are really playing some high-level volleyball, minimize mistakes. Their serving game's been solid. Their net game's been outstanding. Right now, 9 unanswered points here by the Pilots.
Frederick right side. This one will sail wide as well, and it just looks like the Bulldogs are a little out of sync right now as this run of Ayersville has really, I think, kind of gotten to them a little bit. Maybe upstairs a little bit.
I think you're right. I think that inexperience is kind of let where one point affects the next. They're not playing at the level we saw early in this match.
Set for Rollison. It'll be dug out in that back row. Nice job there, and that one is going to be
right on the line. Boy, things things are going wrong when that time I thought Rollison had a great hit there from the back row trying to get the kill, but well handled by the Pilots, and then that nice-looking kill hits the sideline.
Flory with another serve and not handled as it was Cam Frederick who went down for that. And you talked about that movement, Scoop. Boy, that got over the net and just kind of dove right down. Almost looked like a drop ball.
It really does. It's falling off a table, a nasty-looking knuckler, so to speak. This one's going to catch the tape, but they'll take it. What a run there that time by Ayersville. 12 consecutive points, and right now they have the Bulldogs doubled up as we get deep into this opening set.
18-9. Ayersville leading the Defiance Bulldogs here in set number 1. And the strong serve. Now the soft. And Seiler went up to hit that one, and it looks like just off the mark a little bit. That'll be another Ayersville point. And then, again, one of those errors that you just want to maybe take a moment, take a breather, and just say, hey, relax a little bit and do what you know how to do.
Yeah, you're right. They have to get in system, something they've been unable to do since Ayersville's kind of turned up the heat.
Rollison with a big hit there. I think that went off somebody's face on the other side, and Ayersville able to keep it alive. Rollison will hit again. It'll be tipped, saved out of the back row. Ayersville keeps this one alive. Rollison again from that left side. It'll be tipped. Ayersville keeps it alive and over. Seiler will try to dump it in the back. Saved by Ayersville. Now the lefty Kelsey Clark trying to get it in, and now Rollison just tips that one over. Saw the defenders moving up, Scoop, and she had the awareness of there to just get it over their hands.
Fantastic play by Ralston. I'm not sure how she was able to make that adjustment because that ball was awfully close to the net. She did a great job avoiding the net and finding that seam in the back corner. Remember that big Ayersville run came with Ralston in the back row, and now the Bulldogs have her up front once again.
19-10, Ayersville here in this first set. Cone will set. It'll be Seiler with it, blocked, and that'll go out.
Great execution by Defiance. That time they got in system. That's something they've really struggled to do. But they got in system there, well executed. Good looking kill there off the block.
Cone with the serve. Now it'll come the other way. And
boy, that's a tough break. Looked like Defiance was going to be the beneficiary of a little party ball. That was an overpass that time, and Defiance went to put the hammer down. I think they caught the net, got caught fishing there. Big point there for Ayersville to get momentum back on their side of the net.
20-11 now Ayersville as Rollison will smack one over. Now it's just dropped in. Defiance will keep it alive. Rollison. Now back to Ayersville, the set. Cone tries to dump one in the back row and catch him off guard, but Ayersville defends it well. Aldridge will set one over there, and he caught the Defiance defense sleeping a little bit there, and with a big wide open spot in the middle of that court.
Yeah, great dump that time by Brooklyn Michael into no man's land. Defiance is going to be forced to burn another timeout as the Bulldogs trail by 10 deep in this first set.
It's another Service Master Restore timeout. We'll take it with them. Back with more after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Out of the Service Master Restore timeout, Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you here on this Saturday afternoon at Defiance. Pilots 21-11, and with that run there in the middle of the set, Scoop has really done some damage to Defiance, and they just can't seem to get back on track here.
Well, that's the crazy thing about volleyball. You know, as even as this matchup has been for most of this opening set, it was that quick 12-0 run that's been the difference. Other than that, you know, Defiance has actually outscored Ayersville 11-9, but again, you can't just erase those runs. And right now, the Bulldogs have plenty of work to do, down 10.
Cone sets for the left side, and a little miscommunication, and that'll be an Ayersville point there. And well, that was just an idea of, again, who was going for the ball, and I don't think Defiance, again, out of sorts here in this first set. Ayersville serve. So Cone will set, and they'll just try to punch it over. Ayersville keeps it alive. Cone sets again. Ball Rollison from the right side. It'll be blocked by the Pilots, but it'll fall out of bounds. So a nice job there by Defiance to kind of get a little something going.
Tremendous job by Defiance. They got in system. You saw the results. They got the nice set to Rollison. She gets the kill.
Omeyer with the serve, and that comes back the other way, and a big hit from the Pilots there, and just not able to keep that one alive, and that was a monster smash.
It really was. Ayersville continues to put a lot of pressure on this Defiance defense. And right now, the Pilots just 2 points away from closing out this opening set.
Serve returned by Defiance. Rollison tries to just keep that one alive, but that just looked, the set just looked like it was off the mark a little bit, and Rollison had to scramble for it.
Yeah, she had no chance. And right now, Duo de Kupel set point against Defiance.
Be a Stanball Jewelers set point, and just like that, they're going to maybe get a little something going here as Giselle Barajas will drop one in that back corner, Scoop, and that's a much-needed point there for Bulldog.
It really was. They fight off a one-set point, but still looking at Uno de Kupel set point against here at 24-13.
Rollison with the serve. Comes over to Sheets, and that one will go into the net. So Defiance gets another one here, 24-14 now.
Although hanging tough, Rawson's been really a force here behind the service line. But, boy, she has her work cut out, still trailing by 10.
Ayersville keeps this one alive. It'll go in the back, and this one will fall, and that will be the end of set number 1 as the Pilots are able to take it 25-14. So our first set is in the books. We'll take a Midwest Community Federal Credit Union set break. We'll come back, and we'll get you ready for set number 2 after this on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
One set in the books here as the Pilots take set number 1, 25-14, as we take a look at some stats from that first set there, Scoop. Boy, it really was capped off by a solid run of serving from Grace Flory.
Yeah, Grace Flory, I thought, was that difference maker there in that opening set. You know, we know she's a force at the net. I think that's no secret here in Northwest Ohio, but boy, you just don't expect to see 11 consecutive points from your serve, but Flory was really serving that floater to perfection. She had several service winners. And again, that was the difference there. You know, Defiance comes up 11 points short in the opening set, but that 12-0 run, more than the difference. But right now, again, we've learned over the years, it's the first team to win 3 sets. So right now, you don't like dropping that first set if you're Defiance, but you still have time to make some corrections, some in-game adjustments. And right now, you got to flush that first set, try to find a way to even things out here in this second set.
Couple of the keys that you were looking for, Scoop. Anything stand out to you execution-wise, or maybe not executing some of those keys?
Well, first of all, for Ayersville, we talked about maybe the biggest key for them was controlling the back row. Well, they did that. They have to continue to do that. They did a great job of really playing smooth in that back row. They found their middles, and when you get the ball to your middles in good shape there, you have so many different options there with that experience and athletic front row. And I think on the flip side, Defiance, they just had too many, I thought, unforced mistakes. That was a big part of that run. And once those mistakes happened, Josh, we kind of saw their daubers go down a little bit. They just didn't play at that level of confidence we saw when they took an early lead, near the midway point of that opening set. So still plenty of time here for Defiance, but you have to flush it. You have to get locked in on set 2. Because this is an Ayersville team that's certainly going to continue to play at a high level.
Well, I thought I kind of call that sometimes, Scoop, the snowball effect. You know, it seemed like one thing kind of went, and you push the snowball down the hill, gets bigger and bigger, and we kind of saw that during that run there with Defiance. And for Ayersville, Defiance just got out of sorts a little bit, and 1 became a 2, and then 2 became 3, and they just couldn't get back on track in that first set.
Yeah, that was a great analogy because I think that's exactly what happened. They just never were able to get in system, but again, it was that one mistake kind of leading to the next, and then the passing quite wasn't as sharp as it needed to be, which led to some tough times a set. They just never got the ball in the strike zone in system. And now Ayersville will start things out here with the serve in set 2.
Allison Eldridge will serve for Ayersville. Defiance will return.
Defiance.
This will be try to drop over at the net was Giselle Barajas, but defended perfectly by the Ayersville front line.
And again, that great serve from Eldridge caused that overhit there, and Ayersville able to cash in. So a quick 2-0 start here for the Pilots.
Eldridge again serves and just goes off the hands of Chloe Bloomfield, who was trying to dig that out. And boy, Scoop, you mentioned it. She's one of their best servers, and you can see why here.
There's that drop ball you talked about that Grace Flory had. Boy, that was like a split finger, just fell off a table. No chance there for the Bulldogs.
Rollison to hit from that right side. It'll be kept in play by Ayersville. Bloomfield. Now they'll set for Rollison left side, and well, that just set looked like it was maybe a little off its spot a little bit. Rollison not able to do anything with it, and it's another point for Ayersville, now 4-0.
Yeah, they have to clean that up because Rollison, if she gets that in her strike zone, that's going to be a kill there for Defiance. Instead, little mishit on the set.
Rollison tries to just dump that one over, defended nicely by Ayersville. They'll keep it alive. They'll go left side. Dug out by Defiance. Rollison trying to keep it alive at the scorer's table, and she does. Unfortunately, not able to get it back across the net, but credit the hustle there from Bella Rollison.
That's just an incredible play. Unfortunately, it's going to end up coming up all for naught, but how she was able to kind of reach over the clock there and hit that back in play. Great effort there by the senior.
Rollison, now they'll set 4. Ayersville keeps it alive. Now Grace Flory from that left side. It was blocked up front by Vandemark, but it'll fall to the court, and that's another point for the Pilots. Now 6-0 to open up this second set.
Yeah, how about Grace Flory there from the back row coming up big, staying aggressive.
Rollison will dump this one across. Ayersville keeps it alive. They'll go right side for Sheets, and this one will be blocked. That's a nice double block there from Rollison and Vandemark, and that was a nice job for Defiance. Maybe get a little bit of momentum here and get Rollison back to serve.
A big play by Defiance. Ayersville's in control of that entire point. They were certainly in the offensive, but a great block there at the net. Now Defiance, they need to turn up their serving up a dial here too, put a little pressure on Ayersville, not allowing the Pilots to get in system.
Excuse me, it'll be Cam Frederick who will serve for Defiance. And Sheets with it. Knocked up for Frederick. Now Rollison, it comes back at her off the block, off her head. It's kept alive by Defiance. Now Ayersville just trying to dump this one up the middle and just not able to do anything with it, as it was kind of in that spot where who's going to get it, and then nobody able to get a good hand on it.
Yeah, and credit Grace Flory one more time. She did a great job of handling that nasty serve from Frederick. Made it look easy, was able to get it right to the setter in good spot, allowed the Pilots to get in the system. Right now, the Pilots off to a very strong start here in set 2, up 7-1.
Alyssa Coble will serve for the Pilots. And a little bit too much on that one. That'll sail out of the back end, and it'll be a Defiance point here, 7-2. But Scuba Defiance really has to find a way to get something going here.
Yeah, they have to take advantage because Coble is one of their top servers percentage-wise. She leads them in aces, and that's a rare service miss, so cash in. Rollison again, nasty-looking floating serve that Ayersville is unable to handle there in that back row. So service ace for Rollison. And 2 consecutive points here for Defiance, trying to work themselves back into the second set.
West Benko service ace for Rollison as she tees it up again here, and it'll be hit by Coble. Now set for Flory. Jada Alvarez keeps it alive for Defiance, and they'll send it back across. Ayersville will look to set this one. Goes left side for Sheets. Alvarez keeps it alive, and this will go over, as it was just kind of one of those reaction hits from Bella Rollison, and it'll float out of bounds.
Yeah, that time, credit Ayersville. They put a lot of pressure on Defiance. I love the effort from Defiance here, though. If they can continue to play that type of energy, they've got a chance to work themselves back into this one.
Set left side for Defiance. Ayersville keeps it. Now just a quick punch over. And they'll set front row once again. And I think that's going to go, they're going to say that was in on the line. So a nice job there from that young lady who isn't on my roster, Scoop.
It really was. That great hit by the freshman that time. You could almost see chalk flying there. That just caught the edge of the sideline. But that's what happens when Defiance has gotten the system. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, boy, this aggressive play by Ayersville has not allowed them to really get in system much here this afternoon.
8-4, they're cutting into that lead a little bit here in set number 2. Sheets will drop this one across. Now Defiance will set, and it's blocked, but kept alive by Defiance. Nice heads-up play there in the front row. And I think we're going to get, a little bit too much of the palm on that one. So that'll be a point for the Pilots, 9-4 now in this set number 2.
And right now, Ava Sigler, the junior, back to serve for Ayersville. Again, trying to get some separation, and right now you're just trying to get doubt to creep into your opponent's mind, so continue to keep the pedal to the metal.
Rollison from the back row, and that'll go off the arms of Brianna Sebecki. I thought she had her hands up pretty nicely, but with that spin just kind of rolled off of her arms a little bit.
All right, now that's the one thing Ayersville has not had an answer for, and that's Becca Rawson. So that time a great pipe set to Rawson in that back row. And boy, she hit that ball with some vengeance.
Ayersville looking to extend that lead here. It'll be Alvarez on the right side, and not able to handle that is Coble. And just like that, Scoop, 9-6 now, and the Bulldogs are slowly inching their way back into set number 2.
Yeah, they've scored 5 of the last 7 points, so I like the effort I've been seeing from them. We talked about if they play with that kind of energy, they're going to work themselves back in it. And how about this, a service winner that time from Kate Holmeyer. And right now, Defiance can cut this down to a 1-point game here if they can execute on the serve.
Ayersville tries to keep this one alive. And that'll be Cam Frederick with it. It's going to go off the arms of those Ayersville defenders. And they'll scoop just like that. It's a 9-8 set here in set number 2. And I think the Pilots are going to take their first timeout here. It'll be a Service Master Restore timeout. We'll take it with them. 9-8 Ayersville in set number 2. We're back with more after this on DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Welcome back to the Dog Pound. 9-8 Ayersville in set number 2, already leading 1-0. And let's Cooper, just kind of talking about this. Defiance, this young squad. Well, I tell you, and you mentioned it, getting in system and getting their plays set and running them, they look like a very well-oiled machine. But it's just when they're not in rhythm, it's all over the place.
I can't agree more. If you just turned on the TV and watched just the last 4 points, you're thinking, wow, this team will not lose a match all season. They're just unstoppable. They're in system. They just are putting so much pressure on Ayersville, but yet, there's a great effort. Looked like Rawson made a perfect pancake save, but they're going to rule it hit the hardwood. But again, that's the type of effort they need. That ends a 4-0 Defiance run, but it's those unforced errors, those uncanny mistakes that have really hurt Defiance. But when they get in the system, Josh, you're right, they look tough to stop.
And as they get a little bit older, they're going to maybe find some more of that consistency. But I'll tell you what, Kendall Boer right there just dropped one in as we've got Grace Flory back to serve, who scooping that first set, dominated the middle of that first set with being back in behind the service line. We'll see what she can do here. Yeah,
you want to try to side out Boer or Flory as soon as you can, because we saw what she could do in that opening set with that 12-0 run.
And this one's going to fall, and that will end her time behind the line. And for Defiance, they get out of that one. Was it 7 or 8 in a row that she went?
That's huge. She had actually 11 in a row there in that opening set. So now you get her in a one inside out, and now you got Rouse in the front row. And there's a West Banco service ace by the Bulldogs, who are not going away, trailing by 1.
Chloe Bloomfield with a nice serve there, and the Pilots just couldn't handle that one. So 11-10 now, and just like that, the Bulldogs have climbed their way right back into this one.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job. They had a disastrous start, down 7-1, but here they are, chance to tie. That serve going to be a little bit wide, so the Pilots catch a break. Is they able to double that lead now to 2? It looks like the libero, Michaela Sierra, back to serve. She was honorable mention all Green Meadows Conference a year ago as a junior. The lefty hits a nice-looking topspin serve.
Rollison hits it in the back row. Ayersville is able to keep it alive. And now this will be blocked up front, and a nice job by Defiance. Brooklyn Michael is one heck of a hitter, Scoop, but was defended nicely by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was a statement play that time. Great blocking scheme that time by Defiance. Yeah, they're doing what they need to do right now. They're eliminating those big runs of the Pilots here in the second set. And once again, they have a chance to tie.
Urives with the serve for Defiance. Ayersville set it left side for Kelsey Clark. Defiance keeps it alive. And now they'll just try to put that one across, and I think get a little net action maybe. I'm not sure what. I didn't see that one, but it's an Ayersville point, so it'll be 13-11 now Pilots.
Yeah, that's big by Ayersville because, again, this is the Defiance team. You can see them starting to get a little confidence, so you have to stymie that and not let them go off on a run here.
Allison Eldridge to serve for the Pilots. Defiance will keep it alive. They'll get it across. Flory, put it front row. Sheets, and that one will fall in off the hands of the Defiance defenders, and that was just a nice job by Laney Sheets to get up there and get that one.
Yeah, credit the aggressive serving by Allison Eldridge once again. Did not allow Defiance to get in system. And on the free ball, Ayersville got in system. They execute to perfection. Here's another West Banco service ace by Eldridge.
Well, I'll tell you what, that ball's got a lot of movement when it gets across the net.
Yeah, that thing is really just dropping quickly.
Eldridge will hit one in the back row again. Defiance will keep it alive. Frederick with it, and this will be defended up front, and that was Kendall Boer with it again for the Pilots, and saying not this time, knocking that one straight down.
Right now, Defiance has to find a way to get Isabella Rowson involved with this offense. Right now, a big part of this run here, 4 straight points by Ayersville, is in not allowing Rowson to get any touches.
And again, a little miscommunication there with the Defiance, and well, it looked like they were trying to set something for Rawlison on the left side, and it just wasn't in her wheelhouse, but then things just got out of sync a little bit.
Yeah, and a nice little run here by Ayersville, who's riding that wave of momentum. They've scored 6 of the last 7 points, and now have equaled their largest lead here this second set.
Set left side. Back the other way, and this one will be in that back row, and a diving Kate Homeyer not able to dig that one out for the Bulldogs.
And once again, Ayersville got in system. They got the ball in the strike zone of the sophomore, Kendall Boer, and Boer delivers with a nice-looking kill down the line. Largest lead now for Ayersville in set 2.
Eldridge with another nice serve. They'll set for Laney Sheets. Homeyer with it. Now they'll go up front. Cam Frederick tries to drop that one across and defended nicely. Brooklyn Michael is one of those players we talked about in the pregame scoop, one of those senior leaders for this Pilots team, and she shows why.
Yeah, that was just a great play, you know. She anticipated that so well, and with her athleticism, that's a tough combination. A good-looking block gets a kill. Defiance forced to burn a timeout.
Service Master restore timeout. We'll take it with them. 19-11 Pilots in set number 2. We're back with more after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Set number 2 for the Pilots and the Bulldogs here on this Saturday afternoon. Pilots with a 1-set lead over Defiance, and now leading in set number 2, 19-11. Allison Eldridge back to serve again for the Pilots. So come back row. Rollison will set left side, and that one will fall in. That is a nice job from Gisela Barajas to drop that one in that back corner scoop.
Yeah, great execution out of the timeout by Defiance. A much-needed point to stop a 8-1 Ayersville run. And right now, Defiance needs a little run of their own as we get deep into the second set.
Cam Frederick, the junior for Defiance, will serve. And that one will go a little bit long, and that'll be right back to the Pilots. And again, when you get something there, Scoop, you have to be able to capitalize on that, and that's where some of these consistency things for Defiance are falling a little short.
Yeah, it's kind of hurt them here this afternoon, no doubt about it. The only difference in these opening 2 sets has been those 2 runs by Ayersville. Other than that, we've talked about how good Defiance looks at time when they get in system.
Nice block up front from Vandermark. Ayersville will keep it alive. Sheets from that right side, drops it in. It'll stay alive for Defiance. Rollison now, and she will smack one across court, and Coble not able to hang on to it. And there's what you talked about, getting Rollison involved in the offense. That's what she can bring to the table with those monster hits. Yeah,
she really went away during that big Ayersville run, but credit Ayersville for that. A lot of times they just not allow Defiance to get in system, and they were hitting a lot of free balls over.
Dug out by Homeyer. Now Rollison will just try to drop that one in. Saved by Sheets. Now she'll hit it to the back. Ayersville looking to return here. That one gets into the net. Tough play for Defiance. They'll keep it alive and get it over. Ayersville keeps it alive. Left side, that'll be Flory. Nothing going there. Now they'll just try to get it left side, and Lainey Sheets, kind of a little duck sitting up there, and she took advantage of it, Scoop, and smacks that one to the
that time you can see her eyes get big. That time an overpass, the party ball, and she did not miss out, and the southpaw gets a big kill there. And right now Ayersville just 4 points away from closing out set 2.
Sheets with it again. She'll drop it in. Kept alive by Defiance. Now Vandermark. Defiance will have to get this one over, and they do. Ayersville looking to set left side for Flory, and that'll go into Homeyer, and boy, that was a big-time smack there from Flory.
Yeah, that's something we've seen her do many times. You get in her strike zone, good luck trying to stop.
Now Defiance going to take their second timeout. A Service Master Restore timeout. We'll take it with them. 22-13 Pilots. We're back with more after this on DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Ayersville leading Defiance here in set number 2. Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you on this Saturday afternoon. And, well, Scoop, we've talked about Defiance and that youth, but I'll tell you, Ayersville is very impressive here. They've gotten in those runs, but then Defiance kind of claws back in a little bit. But then you see that senior leadership of Ayersville take in, and they don't let it get to them, and they dig that team back out and then start that next run.
Yeah, it's just really been impressive. I thought this team coming in on paper certainly had a chance to perhaps get the GMC title back in Ayersville. And they've done nothing to disappoint me here this afternoon. They've been awfully good. And a rare mistake there is that time. That's what you kind of call a coach kill. That timeout kind of leads to the ice in the server, so to speak, and goes out of bounds. But Defiance has their work cut out, trailing by 8.
This will be Barajas with the serve for Defiance. And they'll set right side for Sheets. She's just going to try to dump that in the back row. Bulldogs keep it alive. They'll go left side. And this one will fall in as a nice job there up front, and Defiance able to get another point on the board.
Yeah, nice job of Defiance. Again, they're hanging tough, not going away. They have to stay in system. Still with time to work themselves back in it.
Barajas to serve. She'll drop that in the back row. And another one there. Flory was defended well by the Bulldogs up front. And, well, just like that, Scoop, Bulldogs have cut the lead down to 6.
Yeah, credit Barajas that time. Aggressive serve, put a little pressure on that back row of Ayersville. Did not allow the Pilots to get in system.
Serve will go to the left side. A little miscommunication for the Pilots, and Flory will smack one across. Bulldogs keep it alive. Rollison trying to find that back corner, and just a little bit long. I like what she was thinking there, Scoop. Drew, the defenders are kind of up towards the net. She's trying to just kind of dump that one back there, but little too long.
You're right. It certainly was the right idea. You could see what she was trying to do from up here. Just got a little bit too fine as that ball sailed a little long. Now Ayersville creeping closer, just 2 points away from taking a 2-sets-to-love advantage.
Ava Sigler with the serve and not able to get it returned for Defiance. And, boy, just like that, we've got a Stanball Jewelers set point.
Yeah, how about that for Sigler that time? A monster serve, and Defiance, all they could do just to save it across the net. But Ayersville again takes advantage of the party ball.
Another serve from Sigler. It'll be hit by Rollison. Now they'll go front row. Ayersville keeps it alive. Flory with it, and that one will fall just out. So Defiance will stay alive here, now 24-17.
Yeah, right now septuple set point against for Defiance. So Kate Holmeyer going to do what she can to try to keep this second set alive.
Bulldogs will come left side, and this one will fall as Kelsey Clark, the senior, will get that final point for Ayersville, and the Pilots take a 2-sets-to-none lead, 25-17 here in set number 2. It is a Midwest Community Federal Credit Union set break. We'll take it with them. We'll back with set number 3 after this on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Welcome back to the Dog Pound. Josh Bush, Scoop Miller with you here at, the break between sets 2 and 3. And the Pilots, Scoop, 25-14 in set 1, 25-17 in set number 2, have really made a statement here this afternoon against Defiance.
Well, they really have. For a team coming in on a 2-game skid, they really have been lights out. They're getting it done in all phases. You know, I love their aggressive play. You know, I love their serve approach. They've been very aggressive behind the line. And, wow, their passing has been spot on when they get to the strike zone. Boy, it's tough math with the hitters they have. And I also like, Josh, how they're so connected. They really play together so well, both from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. And right now, Defiance has their backs to the wall. But the one thing I can assure you, Josh, that both these coaches are preaching is keep playing. Remember the last 2 times these teams have met, the team that won the first 2 sets lost the match. So you can bet that first-year coach Alexis Kissling is telling her squad just that, hey, we're still in this. But you can also bank that Taven Tyler is telling her squad the same thing. Hey, this thing is not over. We got to win 3 sets.
Well, it was exactly what I was thinking there. I'm going, boy, if history tells us anything, this one is certainly not over. But for Defiance, Scoop, and we've talked about this a little bit, but just consistency is something that they're just not finding, and those bright spots are too far and few between.
Well, as a spectator, that's the thing to me that stands out, the biggest difference. I think both teams have a lot of athletes. Both teams have really a lot of weapons there in their arsenal, but what stands out is that consistency you're talking about. Ayersville, again, they've been so connected. They've really done a nice job of minimizing mistakes, not committing a lot of unforced errors, where Defiance, just too many times they've had some inopportune mishits, maybe didn't get the set where they wanted, maybe didn't handle the serve, and so forth. And again, when you're playing a team that has the talent that Ayersville does, you just don't have that type of margin of error, and I think it's really shown here in the opening 2 sets.
Well, Defiance will serve here in set number 3 with Savannah Urives back for the Bulldogs, and see if they can start off in set number 3 quickly. And well, just like that, not able to be handled by Chloe Bloomfield, and the Pilots will get the first point.
Oh, that's great execution by Ayersville. They come out and run the flare play right away here in defense of that serve, and they execute perfection. Great start again here for the Pilots as they take the first point of set 3. And how about that, a West Benko service ace once again. Who other than Allison Eldridge? Eldridge had 2 great runs last in that second set. Both rotations when she was back behind the serve, Defiance had very little answer for her.
And here she comes again, and just not handled well. That ball came in hot. Defiance able to get across now. Ayersville sets on that left side, and it'll be Kendall Boer with it, and that, again, another one of those big kids that they get in there. They got some good size on that side of the court.
They really are oozing with weapons. But, again, that's that difference we talked about. Unable to control the back row, led to the free ball, allowed Ayersville to get in the system, and the Pilots certainly cashed in.
Rollison tries to dump that one over. It'll go in the middle for Boer again. Defiance keeps it alive. Now Bloomfield will try to get this one over. Eldridge will set. This will be Sheets, blocked up front by Bella Rollison, and that one will fall out as just a nice job, nice heads-up play in that front row by Bella Rollison.
Boy, it really was. She anticipated so well, read that like a book. Boy, that's a big-time play that ends a 3-0 run to start out this third set.
Cam Frederick serves for Defiance. Boer with it again for Ayersville. Frederick will keep it alive. Now dug out in the back. Nice job there by Urives. Now they'll set for Rollison left side, and she's able to smack that one down. A big kill there for Bella Rollison.
Well, how about Savannah Urives that time with the all-out save? I mean, she just laid out there, made an incredible save to extend the point. The Defiance comes up big. Now looking to tie here.
And the serve will go a little bit long for Cam Frederick, who will check out for Librero Kate Homeyer. But, well, that was a nice little run by Defiance. Let's see if they can get something back here, get the serve back, and maybe kind of put something together here in this third set. Ayersville with it. They'll go left side. Flory kept alive by Defiance. Up front for Vandemark. She'll tap it across. Now Sheets. Set left side for Rollison. She's going cross court, and it'll go wide, and just not able to keep that one in. Right idea, Scoop, just a little bit too far.
Oh, you're right. That's a tough break for Defiance because that's one of the few times all afternoon where they were in system but didn't come up with a point. As that time, Rollison had a great look, goes wide, and how about that? Another West Benko service ace.
Alyssa Coble back there, and you mentioned her last set, Scoop, one of their better servers back there right now for the Pilots.
Yeah, and you have to get a quick side out, not allowing the Pilots to go on a run. That's been the difference in the first 2 sets, those big runs. We had that 12-0 run by Defiance in set 1. Then they had that 8-1 run just past the midway point of set 2. And right now they're on another run, 4 consecutive points here for Ayersville.
Coble serves. Defiance will drop it back over. Able to keep it alive are the Pilots. Now back row set. Now Rollison trying to dump it in the back. Kept alive by the Pilots. Try to dump it in left side. Now Boer just try to get a little bit cute there at the net. Try to kind of just tip that one over a little bit, and it comes up a little short.
Yeah, you're right. She kind of went for broke there. Not really a dump, but more a tip, as you mentioned, and it just caught the tape, falls back on the Pilot side.
Big serve here from Rollison. Left side for Flory. Defiance will get it back over. Flory again from that left side, and unable to handle it is Homeyer in the back row, and that is a big kill there from Grace Flory.
Yeah, she's bringing the heat, and that's something you all knew you had to defend coming in. She's just too athletic, and that time got the ball in her strike zone. Good-looking kill. Pilots up by 5 here. Trying to extend it.
Rollison will dump that over, and, boy, again, she is such an alert player. I mean, she sees so many things, and when she picks those spots perfectly each time, that one worked out for her.
She really does. She's got great court vision out there, great awareness, and that time she saw a little seam there. And not only did she see it, she was able to execute, put the ball where she wanted. A much-needed point there for the Bulldogs.
Barajas back to serve for Defiance. Pilots will keep it alive. And this is going to sail a little bit as Grace Flory. I think, again, you got Pilots a little bit out of sync there, Scoop, and you see what happens. Bulldogs able to get another point here and cut that lead to 3.
Yeah, and we've seen what the Bulldogs can do when they get on the same page, when they're connected. Well, there's a nice bullet serve handled nicely.
And again, Grace Flory able to hammer down one right there, and Defiance defender's not able to keep it in.
Yeah, great job that time from Ayersville. Michaela Sierra able to handle that serve like it was nothing, allowed the Pilots to get in system right away.
Ava Sigler back to serve for Ayersville. She'll dump this one in the back row. Ayersville keeps it alive, going to Alvarez on the left side. Now Flory with it, and boy, just like that, you think she's coming up to drop the hammer, Scoop, and just a little tip and finds a little seam of that Defiance defense.
Wow, she's been so impressive. She's just an all-around player as well, but again, I think everybody was taking steps backwards, and she puts that hammer down that time. Perfect time to execute the dump, and she did to perfection.
Alvarez left side. She'll try to find that back corner, and she does. That's a huge point for Defiance here to cut that lead 10-6, and better yet, get that serve back on their side.
Yeah, it really was. Anytime you can get a quick side out against Ayersville, you need to cash in, take advantage. Defiance hanging tough here in this third set.
Holmeyer with the serve. Ayersville out. This is going to hit the tape. It'll come over. Now Seiler will dump it back, and that's going to sail out on the back line there. And just a little bit too much. I thought she might catch the line back there, Scoop.
And how about Kendall Boer there? Just an incredible save. It looked like they had no chance. The angle was incredible. She somehow was able to save that over the net. Well, that's a huge point there by the Pilots.
Grace Flory serving now for Ayersville. Cam Frederick trying to knock that one in, but a nice double block on that side over there. It looked like Kelsey Clark was in there and maybe Kendall Boer. I didn't catch the other numbers, but nice job defensively there for Ayersville.
It really was. They did a great job with that attack block. You mentioned a double block there. The timing was perfect. And, again, one of the few times where Defiance was in system, didn't get the point.
Well, a service error there for Grace Flory as she hits that one into the net. So Defiance will get the point here. They'll get the serve back as Chloe Bloomfield, one of the seniors on this Bulldogs squad, will serve it up for the Bulldogs. Ayersville keeps it in. Now they'll set right side. This is Alvarez for it, and that's blocked up front.
That blocked up front, but it just landed wide, so a break there for Defiance as they continue to battle. It's been an uphill climb for them, but again, just one run away from getting back in the thick of things, trailing by 4.
8-12 Pilots blocked up front. Nice job there, Cam Frederick. Get Jada Alvarez, and that was a nice job defensively for Defiance to keep the serve on their side.
Fantastic block that time by Cam Frederick. You can't execute any better than that. Defiance playing some really good volleyball right now, Josh.
12-9 Pilots. They'll set in the middle. And that time it was Brianna Sebecki able to put one down for the Pilots, and well, that kind of ends a little momentum here for Defiance.
Yeah, Sebecki's been a force here for the Pilots. Again, another athlete here for Ayersville. Boy, that's a huge point there to get momentum back on their side.
And a big serve there that time, a West Banco service ace for the libero, Michaela Sierra. That was a really, really solid serve there, Scoop. Sent that deep into the back row.
Yeah, their aggressive serving has really paid dividends. They've done a nice job of not only serving aggressive, but their serve percentage tonight has been outstanding, and they've got production throughout. It's not just a one-horse race here, so to speak. Pilots are very deep in that serving department.
I think that one's going to be out for Jada Alvarez, and Well, again, credit the serve on that scoop. Defiance just not able to handle that when it came across.
Yeah, they just are not playing clean enough in the back row, but there's a reason for that. It's that aggressive serving that continues to cause problems for Defiance.
Rollison with a big hit there. It'll be blocked by Ayersville. Kept in. Now it'll be Boer blocked up front. Now left side, they're going to try to go cross court. Set back for Rollison. She'll just try to dump that on the left side, and that's going to go out on this other side. And I'll tell you what, credit Rollison again. She knows just where to place that ball.
That was a tough cut angle shot by Rollison, and credit Defiance. That was a great point. They really had, I thought, no business coming up with that point, but yet they found a way to do it. And especially after the tough start they've had today, they've been easy to hang their heads. And right now they're still battling, but again, it's been an uphill climb as the Bulldogs still trail by 5.
Left side is Kelsey Clark will hit that one over for the Pilots. Had a nice job there, just kind of try to find that spot.
Yeah, nice job by the senior Kelsey that time. Is able to get a good swing on that and gets the kill off the block there as that falls on the Defiance side of the net. And Ayersville doing a great job of keeping that cushion between them and the Bulldogs here, not allowing the Bulldogs to get any type of momentum here.
Eldridge with a good serve. It'll be returned, and
but that time Rollison, boy, she brought the heat, and that time was just determined to go through that block. Ayersville was in position, but it falls on the Pilot side. Lead down to 5, but boy, another ill-timed service error.
And that'll sail along for Cam Frederick. So just like that, Pilots now 17-11, and Scoop, they're sniffing a straight set win here within the next 7 points here.
What's impressed me so much, Josh, is Ayersville's not taking a point off this entire match. They just continue to play. They're not scoreboard watching. They're just zoomed in on the point at hand. And when you do that, good things typically happen. The scoreboard will take care of itself.
Rollison will dump this one over, and what a nice job there. Once again, that court awareness, that vision that she has, so impressive.
Yeah, it's so amazing how she sees that, and that time it was there. She didn't miss it, and she executed, and that was a must point there, I thought, for Defiance. Again, with their work cut out, still trailing by 5.
Sheets will dump that one across for Ayersville. They'll set left side for Seiler.
And that time they're going to get her for a carry, so that's a break there for the Pilots, who, again, just have not allowed Ayersville to go on any type of big run. And that's really been the difference this entire match here this afternoon. Right now, Rollison, one of the captains, asking for explanation there on that hit. As we mentioned, I believe they called a carry on that.
So you see Rollison getting the explanation from the official and going over and talking to Coach Kiesling. So we got the explanation from the blue shirts here, and whether we like it or not, that's the call.
Probably not a popular call here at the Dog Pound, but I think it was the correct call, and this time another West Bankel service ace. As the Pilots can smell it, as you mentioned, Josh, they're just really playing at such a high level. They're locked in, they're focused. Boy, how about Brooklyn Michael there with that nasty serve.
Another back row serve from Michael, and this will be blocked up front. As nice job there by Barajas, but the Pilots are waiting with tall arms.
Yeah, great job, Brianna Sobecki once again. She might be undersized up there in the front row, but boy, she's been a force up there in many phases of this game here this afternoon.
Rollison will send this one across for Defiance. They'll come left side, and a rare miscommunication from Ayersville. That set went right to the middle, no hitter to follow it.
Yeah, we have not seen that today, and that's a big reason why the Pilots are in the position they are. But if you're Defiance, hey, you haven't had many breaks. You get one there, cash in, take advantage.
Nice serve from Barajas. And now a big hit from Flory. Ayersville trying to keep it alive, and that one, despite the diving effort from Allison Eldridge, that one's going to fall, and Defiance trying to do what they can here to stay alive in set number 3.
Yeah, I've been impressed. Defiance is battling here. They're playing with energy. They've got some enthusiasm, but they have to string together that run, something they haven't been able to do. And that serve just had a little bit too much movement to it, and it lands just inches wide there of the sideline. Now the Pilots creeping closer, just 4 points away from securing the match.
21-14 here in set number 3. Pilots with a 2-0 lead as Sigler will serve for Ayersville. They'll set back row for Rollison. Pilots will keep it alive. Flory with it. Now Homeyer, they'll set left side for Seiler. She's trying to get back row. Pilots keep it alive. They'll have to send this one across. No, Homeyer. They'll set to the center for, that was Vandemark, and that one will go wide. It'll go out, and Pilots now up 22-14.
That's a tough break. They got their free ball, but they couldn't cash in. They had a good look at the net. The kill attempt goes just wide.
Vandemark again trying to just dump that one over. Sigler will come left side. Flory will pop it over. Bulldogs set. Seiler left side. This one will sail wide as well. And again, little pieces of that puzzle not coming together here, Scoop.
Yeah, that time they got in system, but again had a great look to net. Sails a little bit long. Ayersville trying to get the match point, just 2 points away.
And this one will serve for Sigler. Will dive a little too quick, and it'll go into the net, so Defiance will get an opportunity to get back in here as Cam Frederick checks in, and Kate Homeyer will be back to serve for the Bulldogs. They'll go left side. That was Clark. Now Seiler left side, and nice job here by both these teams keeping this one alive. Rollison from the back row, and she'll drop that one in the back line. And what a nice placement once again for Bella Rollison, and a big Bulldog point there.
Yeah, that's just high execution right there. A nice-looking pipe set to Rollison, and Rollison, we've seen her do that throughout this match, delivers. Impressive point by Defiance, but again, still trailing big here deep in the third set.
23-16 Pilots. And that one's going to fall out as Kelsey Clark, the senior for the Ayersville, was trying to find something in the back line and just not able to keep it in.
Yeah, nice job, Defiance. A 3-0 run, which is probably matches their longest run of the afternoon, trying to get a little bit more momentum.
Homeyer's serve. It'll be Clark again. Now set up front for Seiler. She's trying to go back. Clark and a nice block up front from Seiler. They'll try to keep this one in, and that's going to sail wide. And just like that, Defiance climbs the back within 5.
Oh, I love the effort. Good-looking block by Seiler, and Ayersville's seen enough, and they're going to burn a timeout.
Service Master restored timeout. 23-18 Pilots. We're back with more after this on DCTV Sports. And we welcome you back here out of the Service Master Restore timeout. Ayersville 23, Defiance 18. Pilots looking to close this one out. They won the first 2 sets and are knocking on the door of a straight set win here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this match is their longest run of the afternoon. Their first run of 4 points came when it was 2-2 in the opening set. But right now doing all they can to get back in it. And there's a West Banko service ace. As that time, Kate Holtmeyer drops a dime there in the back edge of that court. And right now, the Bulldogs just refuse to throw in the towel as they've cut this deficit down to 4 as they get their longest run of the match at 5 consecutive points.
23-19 now, Pilots Left side, that was Flory. Now Seiler will just try to dump that one over, and that's going to fall in there. And just like that, we've got ourselves a new set here, Scoop, 23-20, and the Bulldogs have a little momentum on their side.
Well, smart play by Seiler. That time you saw her wind up, but the ball was not anywhere near her strike zone. She had to make a mid-flight adjustment, but boy, what a good one it was. She dumps it in there. And this is as close as Defiance has been here in this third set after falling behind 6-12 early on.
Good serve from Homeyer. Alvarez tries to dump that one across. Kept alive by the Pilots. They'll just have to send this one over. Now they'll set up front for Frederick. Left side for Flory. Rollison not able to keep a handle on that one, and that one will fall, and we're at a Stanball Jewelers match point here for the Ayersville Pilots, 24-20.
Great job there by Flory. She's determined that, hey, we're not going to see this 2-set-to-love lead disappear, so quadruple match point coming up here for the Pilots.
And a serve from Flory will go into the net, so Defiance will have an opportunity here, 24-21, to kind of set up this and extend this match as Chloe Bloomfield will check in and do the serving here for Defiance, the senior.
Yeah, she's been off the good behind the service line this season, 94%, second in the team in aces.
Defiance keeps this one alive. Little miscommunication up front. They'll drop it across, and they're going to get another point here as Bella Rollison, Cam Frederick looked like a little bit of miscommunication there, Scoop. Works out in the Bulldogs' favor.
It was a little bit, but the hustle kind of overrid it, so they get a chance. They fight off another set point, but double match point against yet for Defiance.
Kept alive by Defiance. Left side for Rollison. She'll try the back row. Ayersville keeps it alive. Now they'll set right side for Alvarez, and she tried that right side. It's in. Ayersville will have to send it across. They do. Set up front. Now Frederick with it. She just tries to dump it off. Blocked by by Ayersville. Rollison. Now Flory. And they try to little set dump across, and can Ayersville keep it in? And they don't. And just like that, 24-23 in probably one of the best series we've seen all afternoon.
I tell you what, that was the best point of the match. Longest rally, I think, for sure. And again, you can just see Defiance. They're just locked in right now. I mean, they're hustling. They're playing with energy. They're playing with confidence. And wow, they've had a monster hole to climb out of. They're not out of it yet, but they certainly have made things interesting here in this third set.
A Service Master Restore timeout. We'll take one with them. Back with the finish after this on DCTV Sports.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
24-23. Defiance with the serve here in set number 3, trailing by 1. And the Pilots looking to close this one out. Rollison left side. She'll dump that one in there, and this is another one. This is going to fall in. And again, boy, the enthusiasm, Scoop, the energy that Defiance is playing with right now has gotten them right back into this match.
Are you kidding me? Defiance now with 9 of the last 10 points. They fought off 4 consecutive match points.
And Ayersville just looking a little out of sorts here in set number 3. Towards the end, the end of set number 3. Now Rollison, and it stays in that back line. Oh, no, they're going to say it was out.
Oh, it's a game of inches. That time Defiance looked like they executed the tee, but that kill attempt just an eyelash long. And now Ayersville with their 5th match point, trying to seal the deal.
Serve from the Pilots. Frederick with it. Up in the air. Rollison keeps it alive for Defiance. They'll drop it over. Trying the back row, now kept alive by Ayersville. Left side for Flory. And that will be in. Wow. And that will seal the deal for the Pilots as they close out set number 3 by a final score 26-24. Ayersville with a 3-set win here over Defiance on this Saturday afternoon. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. That's next on DCTV Sports.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Welcome back to Defiance as we are putting the finishing touches on our Saturday afternoon volleyball as we welcome you to our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Ayersville a winner tonight, or this afternoon. I keep saying tonight, Scoop. It's bright as could be outside. 25-14, 25-17, 26-24. But well, I'll tell you what, Defiance was not going to go away easy, especially in that third set.
No, I was really impressed with Defiance. You know, after dropping the first two sets, they fall behind 23-14 in the third set. So you're thinking, all right, they fought hard. They're going to lose. Boy, they were determined to come back. In fact, they not only came back, they made it a barn burner. They tied things up at 24 all after fighting off 4 match points. And then had a great look. It looked like they took the lead. The ball was ruled just an eyelash or two out of bounds, and that maybe was a difference there. But again, I think your Defiance, you certainly you're never happy with a loss, but I think there's a lot they can take away from this. You and I, Josh, I know we've talked off air a lot. We're both impressed with what this team does. They have athletes out there. They really have a good nucleus there. They just have to find a way to get everybody connected on the same page. When they do, look out. This is a Defiance team you're not going to want to overlook and take lightly, that's for sure.
Well, and sometimes that comes from the graduating class that you had, right? I mean, they lost a lot of big pieces to the puzzle. Now you got to figure out who fits where, and as they grow and learn with each other and the new coaching and everything else, I mean, again, that they're just going to continue to get better when you have athletes like they do.
Well, you're right, and it is that learning curve. Not only do we have a lot of new faces on the court, but you also have a new first-year coach. So you're always making those little adjustments here and early in the season. Again, I was impressed. You always look at the records. 1-4 coming in and so forth. But I think you and I are close enough to the program. We knew they were athletic. I didn't realize they were this athletic. But again, this is going to be a team. I think before it's all said and done, this is a team that's going to be a tough out. Boy, I was really impressed here this afternoon, even though they lose this one in straight sets.
Well, let's flip it over to the Pilots. And, boy, you talk about the senior leadership, and you got Allison Eldridge. You've got Brooklyn Michael, Kelsey Clark, Grace Flory. They've got a lot of upperclassmen that are leading the way, and some youth that's sprinkled in here too, Scoop, that this is a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the GMC and maybe down that tournament trail when we get there.
Yeah, there's absolutely no question about that. I've watched these athletes now, some of them for up to 4 years now, not just on the volleyball court, but on the basketball court, softball, diamond, you name it, and they do. They're loaded with athletes, and they really seem to be locked in, focused today. Boy, they did a great job of minimizing unforced errors. Their service game was probably the difference here this afternoon. They just had so much, not just service aces, but also a lot of times we just did not allow Defiance to get in system. And we talked about, Josh, when Defiance was able to get in system, they're hard to stop. And we saw that this afternoon, no doubt about it. But I think the aggressive serving game by Ayersville kind of stymied that a little bit, and that might have been the difference here. What ended up being a great match here at the Dog Pound.
Well, Ayersville's going to come out of here with the win, 25-14, 25-17, 26-24, a straight set win for the Pilots. And we didn't go I guess we kind of went off script a little bit, Scoop. The winner of the first two sets didn't lose in five, but I'll tell you what, Defiance did everything they could to extend this one to another set. And for both of these teams, I think the future is bright for both of these teams, whether it be this season or even into the next couple of years.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're going to want to watch both these teams progress as the season goes on. You can see Ayersville. Boy, I think they're primed to get that GMC title back in Ayersville, something they haven't done. Overall, they've won 11 green medals titles, but the last time they did it was in 2016, and that was the end of a five-peat. I remember they had Molly Hammersmith and a lot of great athletes in that time, but they've got a lot of great athletes out here right now, so I think they're determined to try to get that trophy back in Ayersville.
Well, I want to say a big thanks to Athletic Director Jerry Beauty, Brian from the maintenance staff, who are a tremendous help to us each and every time. For our entire crew working out here on a Saturday, missing the Ohio State. If you're an Ohio State fan, I'm more looking forward to tomorrow night down in Florida. As, the Notre Dame folks will make their way to South Florida, but. Scoop, big thanks to you as well. A little bit of a quick turnaround from last night to tonight, but it's been a fun weekend.
It really has. It started out with that great football game last night, great volleyball match today, and looking forward to some more action throughout this fall sports season on DC television.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Again, Ayersville, the winner here in straight sets, 25-14, 25-17, and 26-24. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend, and we will see you next Friday night for high school football right here on DCTV Sports.